Welcome back to the Piney Woods Homestead, y'all. Today, we got something special to show you. The eagle landed last night. Actually, we cut the stork. The stork came. The eagle would be the government sending you money. That don't happen here. The stork came yesterday, and we've got some new babies down here in the brooder to show you. So Lisa's going to show you that, and then I'm going to get out here and get back to working on Sampson's lot. Spend a little bit of time today and get that done. But guys, if you're new to the channel, we just kind of wanted to give you a teeny little bit of backstory on us. We are not new to the gardening, homesteading, farming scene. Myself personally, I can trace my lineage back to about 1700 here in North Carolina. And it's always been farming, rural, agricultural type stuff. And you know, my dad was raising pigs in the woods 40 years ago, and he raised them in hog houses, and we had chicken houses, and so we've been around farming or homesteading pretty much all our life. And
I grew up on a several generations long beef cattle farm. I always had big gardens. I was an only child, and an only grandchild, so spent, you know, doing everything. There wasn't any partial treatment for the fact that I was a girl. So I was, you know, loading bales of hay, helping with the cows, helping with the gardens, learning to can. That's where I learned to do most of my canning from. And
Lisa does most of that canning here. I do it too. She's actually helped teach me a lot of how to do it, even though I watched my mother growing up doing those type of things. But it's a lot of work living this way, y'all, but it's very rewarding. So stick along with us. We feel like we got a little bit of knowledge that we can share with you and help you be able to live this way too if you want to. But let's get down here and see this new delivery.
Hey guys. They have partied. So we ordered 100 chicks. These are all rangers for our meat. And we actually ordered enough for Matthew's sister and one of his brothers. So they came and picked theirs up throughout the day yesterday. So we're down to our 30.
Yeah, we've got 30 in here.
And we raise usually 30 twice a year, which gives us, we don't run out of chicken meat. Just because we don't freeze them whole. We do a few, but for the most part we portion them out into cuts. So, you know, we never run out between raisins. So, and we always usually have a little bit left between the next butcher date. And we have the red light in there for them to help keep them warm. We did add an extra light just above yesterday because it's been really windy. It's not super warm yet, but it is at least a little bit warmer than yesterday. And the wind is not quite as bad, but they'll stay in here for 2 to 3 weeks, and then we'll get them moved out on grass.
Guys, those are some good looking Ranger meat chickens. We love raising Rangers. And the reason we do is we love the flavor. It's superb. We love the hardiness of the bird. We love that we've gotten our feed conversion down to where it's fairly close to that of raising a Cornish cross, which is bred for fast production, low feed conversion. If we wanted that, like we've told you, we'd go to the grocery store and buy it. If you want to raise that at home, great. It's America. That's what we say. Raise what you want to raise. We just like the Rangers. And we're excited about the birds that we're brooding, or we're hatching, or trying to hatch right now. We're hoping that's going to give us that fryer size chicken, that 3 to 4 pound bird that's easy to fry. Because y'all, we love some fried chicken around here. Today I'm going to get out here on Sampson's lot and try to get back on that thing. It's been a process, but today I need to get some fence posts driven into the ground, some T-posts. And the weather's pretty good, and I'm feeling pretty good today. So let's see what I can get done, and maybe we'll check in on Lisa after a bit. She's got some plants up there. When I say some, probably 500 plants that need to come out and start getting hardened off. So I'll show you that in a little bit, but for now, it's fence time. Guys, we had about an inch of rain yesterday. Some bad storms rolled through. Fortunately, we had no damage here on the homestead, and that's a major blessing because we've got a lot invested in getting our infrastructure done over the past 6 years out here on this place. We started building this homestead 6 years ago, and as you can see, this is the point where we've gotten, and we have ramped things up in the past 2 years quite a bit. But today we're going to get some of these posts in the ground. It's nice and soft out here, the ground, so hopefully they'll go in pretty easy. Y'all, I'm using 6-foot T-posts, and I'm gonna try to put these about every 10 or so feet, and I'll just eyeball that and step it off. Y'all, this is the hard part. I did a video a while back called it Country Strong. This will make you country strong, but it also about wear you out. I may get one of those pneumatic drivers one day if I have much more fence to do. But you want to get this on the back side of this line that we put up, because the fence is going to be on the inside. That way the animal, if it ever did push on the fence, has the barrier behind it to support that weight. One down, only a few to go, and that wasn't bad. The ground's so soft. Sunk at about 18 inches in the ground. Not bad. Well, I'll sit here and take me a break. I thought I'd just turn the camera on and chat with you just a second. I'm wore out. I've only drove 4 fence posts, but y'all, 4 months ago I couldn't even get off the couch or out of the bed. So this is great progress from where I was at. So I'm very glad to be out here driving some fence posts. But folks will tell you, what I want to talk about, folks will tell you you can run just electric and contain your hogs, and you can to a degree. We've done it. You're going to have a pig get out sooner or later, and if somebody tells you they've never had one get out of just their electric, they're probably not telling you a whole truth. If you are not living out in the middle of nowhere, then you probably want to have some field fence installed with electric on the inside. It works great for us. We've never had a pig get out of this setup at all. My dad told me that back 40 plus years ago, when he first started raising pigs, he had 50, I believe about 50 sows in the woods, and then about every day he was having to get them up and put them back in. Now, fencers have come a long way since then. Things have gotten better, and you'll see some people, plenty of people on YouTube raising pigs with just a strand or two of electric. And y'all, it will work if you'll train them to them, but you've got to remember, power's going to go out, storms are going to come and lay down trees on your wire, vegetation's going to grow up, and if your fence isn't strong enough, it's going to short it out. Go ahead, if you're going to raise the best meat that you can for you and your family, go ahead and put the extra time and effort and money into putting up a solid fence with electric on the inside. Now we run 2 strands of electric on the inside, one down about probably 6 inches off the ground, and the other up at about their nose level, where we think their nose level is going to be, because a pig will always go up to test something with their nose. And once they learn that electric, most of the time they'll go up and sniff, once in a while get shocked, but most of the time they'll just leave it alone. But go ahead and take the extra time and the work involved to get you a permanent fence up. Also, if you're going to keep a boar, just know that it's going to cost you $500 or $600 a year to keep that boar fed, to keep him dewormed, and you can use all the natural remedies you want to, but if you want a surefire way to keep parasites out of them, use an actual dewormer. We don't do injections here. We're not a fan of injections of any kind, but we do feed, I believe it's called, I don't want to say what it is because I can't remember, but it's by Safeguard, and it's a granular. We feed it to them quarterly, 3 times, 3 days. So they get 3 doses of it in their feed according to their body weight. And y'all, every time we process a hog, the first thing we do is take a look at its internals. You want to see nice, clean internals. The livers don't want to have a bunch of big spots on them. That's a bad sign. The kidneys need to look good. The livers need to look good. No spots on them. Nice, solid, dark color. And y'all, our pigs are always, thank God, healthy. And the meat quality is excellent. There's a lot of work involved in living this way. But if you'll watch some of our videos, you're going to see a no-nonsense approach at putting up decent pig pasture in the woods, because that's what we have. It's going to hold those pigs in, give them plenty of shade. They need shade. They'll sunburn really easily, even a dark pig, colored pig like we have. They need to have a way to get wet and waller that keeps them cool when it's 95 degrees and high humidity. And they'll naturally dig their own holes. You don't have to go out here and dig them a hole with your tractor or with a shovel breaking your back to make them a waller. They will make their own waller. The Lord gave them a snout, and it is amazing at how well they can root the ground and get them a hole dug. And there's a nice one already started in here for Sampson. There's kind of a spring on the back side of his little run out here, and he will have that thing, it turned into a swimming pool by summer. They look like hippopotamuses out here. You can see their nose and their ears. That's about it. They love getting in them and cooling off. But guys, I've had enough of a break, and we'll get back on these fence posts, and then I think we'll go check on Lisa and see if she's been able to get any plants outside. It's still pretty windy, and y'all, she stresses over those plants. She prays over those plants, and she always turns out with an excellent crop. So we'll check on her in just a little bit. For now, back on the fence. Y'all, that log I just drug out, it's no account for the sawmill. It's too small, it's crooked. But I just hate to see anything go to waste, so I actually drug it in here, and that'll give Sampson a little play toy. He'll be able to root that thing around, and if it becomes a problem with the fence, I'll get it out. But give him something to play with anyhow. Y'all, I had to get that stump cut out of the way because it's right in line with where my fence is going to be going. So that had to be moved. I hated to cut down a 15-year-old pine. I think that's probably about what that was. But there's plenty more out here that one day, if I live long enough, will be on that Easy Boardwalk Junior Mill over there doing new projects on the homestead. Y'all, that's about all I feel like doing on this fence today. I'll get back on it tomorrow. Get some wire pulled. I need to make me a new fence stretcher anyways to hook to the winch on the gator, and that'll take about 10 minutes. I'll show you how to do that. Something simple. You don't need to go buy a $200 or $300, $400 or $500 fence stretcher when you can make one very simply and very economically on the homestead. But I thought we'd go up there and take a look at Lisa's plants. She's got some moved out to the garage. It's still kind of windy, but y'all, they need to start hardening off, because as soon as it's dry enough, I can till the garden where about 100 tomato plants are going, and about 100 pepper plants and squash and row cropping. Everything will be down there, as well as our community garden that we share with the neighbor. So let's get up there and see what Lisa's up to.
And I'm trying one more time to get these hardened off. These are all my tomato plants. Tried getting them hardened off enough to where I can get them out of the house and put them up in our pop-up greenhouse at night. But then the weather turned super windy, super rainy, so they have not been happy in the house. It is finally pretty enough today to get them out, but I've got all of my paste tomatoes here, and this is a few different slicers. This is my absolute favorite. It's a black cream. If you've ever had a Cherokee purple, it's along the same smoky taste and flavor. These actually originated from Cremenia, and I prefer them over the Cherokee just because they do a little bit better with disease. I've got some more slicers here, some more paste there. I had potted these up 3 weeks ago, I think. Could they be potted up again? Absolutely. Do I want to? Yes. Do I have the pots? No. So I'm just trying to get them hardened off and outside, and we're probably going to plant these a little bit earlier than we normally would. Our last frost is supposed to be April 11th, but so they're probably going in the ground, Lord willing, the week after. I do have about 50-ish more tomato plants already up in flats, just in case I need to replace any. But they're super healthy. They're just they have grown way faster than what I have ever in my 20 years of growing from seed had them grow. And the only thing I can contribute it to is that we changed up the type of grow lights that we use. But I have been reading on some gardening forums that I'm a part of that other people are experiencing the same thing with super fast growth this season. So maybe it's just something with the weather. Who knows? And here's my just under 100 pepper plants. Everything from habaneros and loads of jalapenos, because I do cowboy candy, which is candied jalapenos every year, and we can never grow enough jalapenos for me to make those. Most of this flat is majority of our bell peppers, and more hot pepper. Well, actually, these are the miniature pepper plants. So they'll have a decent sized little pepper, but the plants stay really compact. So several of these are going to go in the raised bed over here by the house. And the same thing with these. These are little Rosy Finch cherry tomatoes, and they can fit, you could fit all three of these in a 5-gallon bucket. So if you want it, or a 5-gallon container. So these are going to go in my little raised bed by the house too. I love to have cherry tomatoes to snack on, and I actually got a few more of these started too. So, and the kale that we overwintered, that we actually had just gave up hope on, that surprised us by coming back, it's really growing. This is the Blue Ridge kale, and this variety, maybe Matthew can pronounce.
Dinosaur kale.
Yeah, it's often referred to as dinosaur kale. So you can see the difference between the leaves. I've sampled both. The Blue Ridge is my favorite. And we've got some beets coming up in here. They've just popped up this week. And I do have some little miniature romaines coming up in this pot. They will literally be like a few bite individual person head of romaine. And I've got a bunch of onions coming up in there.
Y'all, that's going to do it for us today at the Piney Woods Homestead. Thanks for coming around with us, checking out the new baby chicks. Those Rangers, I'm telling you, you got to try them if you hadn't. The what?
Best chicken.
Best chicken ever.
Yeah.
That's our opinion, and we're sticking to it. And we'll keep on growing them, y'all, because they are fantastic. Top shelf in our opinion. Checked out the hog fence, got some T-post driven, and took a look at all of Lisa's plants that she has been working on so diligently. Now I got to get it cracking and get the garden tilled. If the weather will cooperate, we'll get them planted. Guys, hit the old thumbs up for us. Subscribe to the channel if you hadn't, and if you have, y'all, we appreciate you. We'll see you on the next video.